So, with that said, I have prepared, well, prepared, but I'm so impromptu, it don't take much for me, that I have been very successful on Alignable. And so first I want to know a raise of hands of those who are not on Alignable, who are not. Raise your hands so I can at least know. Okay, because I know some people come from her LinkedIn and Eventbrite, and so forth. So good. So I have an Alignable crowd. And I want this to be a very informative, open discussion about Alignable, and I'll be happy to share my experiences or help you out with things that you may not know. So, my first question would be is that who has and you could feel free to drop information. Well, actually, this one, drop information in the chat unless you're driving like Jamie is, and Jamie can come off mute. Um, if you've been on Alignable less than, sorry, excuse me, less than 1 year, put in the chat, just put a one. 1 year or less. You could put a one. Okay. Wow. Okay. This is a good topic then, because there's a lot of people haven't been on here on Alignable that long. Okay, great. 1 year or less. Quite a few. Okay. Um, be honest. If you are, say either give me a zero or a one. Zero would be that you are, let's be honest, clueless about what the heck is Alignable. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what this thing is. Put a zero. And then put a one if you're kind of gaining some traction. You're figuring it out. Is give me a one for that. Okay, so we got a couple of zeros, couple of one. All right, so I hit a good topic. All right. So let me start foundationally or simply, and then I want you to just ask me some questions. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and my experience with Alignable so that you'll know that I'll be able to help you out. Okay, so I got introduced to Alignable probably like many of you others, that somebody just told me about it and said, "Hey, you need to get on Alignable. They've got some good networking." And I was like, "Well, what the heck is that?" She sent me some invite. I've only been on Alignable, I think 2022, right around the end of 2022, 2023. And I got on Alignable, and I'm a technical person. So I'm going to push buttons, do things. I'm going to, try to figure stuff out. And when I figured out the technical the advanced technical capability that Alignable has, that's when I went all in. And I went ahead and got a membership. Oh, which is my next question, is put in the chat free if you're still on the free membership. Then I'll also know how to gauge this if you aren't free. And just be honest, let me know. Um, so I started on the free, and then when I started seeing the difference with the functionality which you can get as a member is when I became a member. Then soon after I became a member and I started getting results, and we'll talk about how I started getting results, I saw that one of the things was you can be a group leader. A group leader gives you the opportunity, like I have today, that this is not my group. This is Jennifer and Elijah's group, but because I'm a group leader and I've received certain training and I've reached, a certain level, then I can lead a group. And when you lead a group, you get more exposure. So obviously that's the key. Everybody wants more exposure, or else why would you be on any platform? If you're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is, you want exposure for your business. So I moved from, to a group leader. A group leader allows you not only to support other groups, but to then lead your own group. Although they've stopped, let me rephrase that. Um, Alignable used to let any paid member start a group, which meant that if you wanted to start a, let's say for instance, Susan's with her dog sitting, if she wanted to start a pet lovers group, then she could start it, and then Alignable would allow you, just like Facebook, to build your group. Well, that got out of hand, and there was like way too many people building groups that were similar, or or what have you. So they stopped that, but still allowed you to become a group leader and then partner with someone else that had a similar group, and you could lead it together, which is important because just like today is an example, you can build a group, but then if you're the only one leading it and something happens to you, then who do you have to as a backup? So that's why Jennifer, even though I'm not a co-leader of her group, she knew that I know how to lead groups, and so I could lead this group. And then another level is ambassador. An ambassador means that you take on the responsibility to lead a geography, so a local group. And this is especially great if you have a local based business. And as an ambassador, you then get even more visibility and credits with Alignable. So, with that said, I am a leader of 5 groups, including my Buffalo Alliance, and recently got promoted to what's called silver status, which means that I must halfway know what I'm doing. Okay. So, with that said, I'd like to open the floor and let's use the raise hand, please, so we don't just burden out. Any questions that you all may have about Alignable? There was another question I was going to ask, but I forgot what it was, and that happens to me, so y'all forgive me for that. So, raise hand feature. This is your time now. Like what the heck is this Alignable, and should I be a paid member or a free member? What's the difference? I know y'all got some questions.
I have a question for you, Arba. Can't raise the hand with
Oh, that's okay, Jamie.
with the driving, but
Yes.
there's so many different paid things we could be doing. So yeah, I pay for LinkedIn Premium, and then Facebook wants it, then Instagram wants it, then so as far as when you're talking to businesses, or where do you decide? Now, obviously, you have to focus somewhere. You can't be. Yes, we need to be as much as possible everywhere, and you can use AI to help start doing some automated posting and things like that. But how do you do? It just seemed, I don't want to say overwhelming, but there's just so much out there that you could be doing and that you
Yes.
can't. How do you advise people? This is just, I think, a good question for everybody. How do you advise people where to focus? Because
Right.
you could be like the next shiny object. Everything, something new comes out, boom, 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 boom. Now we got to try to do that, and then we don't have as much time for this. So
Yes,
I'll leave
you
that
you
question there.
are Jamie, you are actually answering your own question because I've been
Yep.
in marketing since the late 80s, early 90s. So I started marketing before the internet really took off like it did. So back in the day when I started business, it was back to the door knocking, back to the phone calling and
Mhm.
and all of that type of stuff, the relationship, okay? And then when the internet started, that was where a lot of people made their money because as long as you could send out those email blasts, buy the email list, and people's buying stuff and reaching them with the emails and then social media. So, what has happened is that as consumers, we are overwhelmed. How many of you can say, how many emails do you get? How many when you go on how many posts pop-ups come up when you're looking at, there's all of this. People are overwhelmed and inundated with it. So my answer is number one, you do not need to be on every platform. It is impossible, for one thing, because there's new platforms coming out even more now than it used to be. Okay. Where you need to be is, well, not need to be, where you first need to understand and clearly understand is really who is your target market. Okay. Let's say, and I see Susan shaking her head because she knows. I can talk about Susan because I know her business. Her business is very local based. She watches, she does dog sitting. I'm in Buffalo, New York. If I say, Susan, I'd love to do business with you, she's not traveling to Buffalo, New York to watch my dog that I don't have. But, so Susan is obviously number one, looking for making sure that she can be on a platform or in a community that is local based. And then secondly, which may be first, is it's a dog, a pet lover, specifically dog, because you don't probably watch people's cats and gerbils and all that kind of stuff, or snake. What about snakes? But anyway, so so she's specifically looking for groups that are dog lover groups. Okay, so number one, truly understand who is your target market and what platform are they active on. And only be on that one platform until you learn how it works. And I'm telling you that from my experience because actually, in honesty, I wasn't even I didn't like social media at all. And I needed to find out how to get more leads. I paid a consultant, not a consult, a coach. I paid a coach to help me learn how to be more visible, how to get more leads. And the first thing she said was social media. And I said, the devil, no, I am not getting on nobody's social media. And when she taught me how it works and why it works, then I found the platform which is alignable to work it. Okay? So that's why I'm here at least sharing with you what I've learned about Alignable and how Alignable platform works. So back to another part of the question you asked, Jamie, the other platforms that you're paying, are you really working it? What are you paying for? If any of you are paying to be on a platform for it to advertise you, for it to promote you, for it to do, then you are wasting your money. Okay? Because if it's easy for you to pay for a platform to market you, then it's easy for anybody. And then all of a sudden, that's what you're getting. That's what the consumer is getting. The consumer is getting your ad, this person's ad, that one's ad. Just like I'm a web designer. That's where I make most of my money, and started back in the 80s, 90s. And every SEO, and everybody wants to be at the top of the search engine. Well, what is really the top? Come on now. If everybody wants to be at the top of the search engines, then who's really at the top? So the moral of this story is you have to be relational. What you all are doing today, getting on this leads group, consistently coming, this is going to gain you much more value than paying to be on any platform if you just want it to do the work for you. Did I totally nail that one in the ground? Okay. Now, look, don't be scared. Here's the thing: people who know me, they know me. I'm a straight shooter. I'm a energetic. I'm very passionate about what I do. Let me for those of you that don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about my story. Then you'll be able to ask me whatever you want to ask me. Okay, my background is actually engineering. And I worked for HP for 12 years as an engineer. And back in the 80s, 90s, there was no Vistaprint or Canva. And my hairstylist, because you know I like to keep that hair looking good, my hairstylist back in the 80s, 90s wanted to stand out. And she said, Arba, could you create some kind of uh, um, no, business card. And I said, yeah, I could take some of the things I learned at HP and I'll create you some business cards. I created business cards for her. The other hairstylists love it because you know everybody bites off everybody else. I started getting the referrals, and all of a sudden I had this little side hustle marketing business. And I was like, wow, this is great. And so I ended up leaving HP. I didn't get fired or anything. I left HP. I left HP because they wanted me to be a manager, and I didn't want to be a manager. So I was making enough money with my little side hustle, and started doing a little marketing, business on the side. But here's the thing: I did not understand business. I did not understand being a solo business. I did, and so I did what a lot of people are doing today. I paid money for people to market me. I paid money for everything that was coming out. And this was like again around in the late 90s is when I quit my job. I was doing this and that. I was commingling for anybody that's in the finances, Dr. LL. I was commingling my business and my personal finances. I was young, married, with children, young children. I put my all into my business, right? To the point that my house got foreclosed, car repossessed, and I lost my marriage. So the passion that I have to help solopreneurs is real because I've been there. I've done that. I went through that struggle, and I'm here to tell you, there's stuff that you need to learn how to do yourself, and not there's no easy button. And if you want the full story, I actually wrote a book. It's called Not Arbitrary. It's on Amazon. It's the only, look me up by my name. It's the only thing I wrote. And I wrote this because of the coach that told me I needed to write it. It's my leaps of faith to a purposeful life. So what I'm sharing with you is real. So ask me whatever you want, and I'm going to give you the real deal. I'm not going to give you no marketing strategy, or whatever. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear as a solopreneur. All right. So I see there was a hand, David. I don't know if is that, oh, because you want to you raise your hand. Did you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything. First off, thank you. I almost didn't get on today. Uh, so I love hearing stories. I'll be brief with my question, and I guess Jamie kind of might have went into that. So I'm in roofing. I help homeowners solve problems, and I have been struggling on branding myself. So my focus this year is branding, and I wanted to ask: is Alignable better, in your opinion, on branding versus Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram? Or what have you seen within all that?
Okay. Let me give you my philosophy on the whole branding thing. Back in the day, again, back in the late 80s, 90s, a lot of people when you transition from a corporate job to your own business. I worked for HP. I don't have to say on and nobody on here don't have to say, "Oh, who's HP? What is HP?" Okay? Everybody knows HP. Why? Because it is a major brand. Okay? If I said I worked for Nike or Coke or whatever. So, branding back in the day, it is well, branding back in the day was essential for corporations, for companies, because that's why the difference between someone would buy a Rolex, a Rolex versus what they call off brand. Okay. So the hardest transition that solopreneurs make is you try to start your business as a corporation that you came from. You put a lot of money and effort into brand, but brand is the other way around. If you put, meaning that you put a lot of, let me say this again. People will put a lot of money and effort, to try to create a brand, thinking that having a brand is going to get you visible. The only way a brand is going to get you visible is if you put a hell of a lot of money, okay, behind it. Commercials, all kinds of things, because you want people to know you by your brand. But the thing is, that's not how you start a business. Nobody knew me when I started my business, apart from HP. I didn't put nothing into a brand. My brand was, Arba, which was unique enough, my name. And the only reason I could not get Arba.com, because it was taken by American Rabbit Breeders Association. And that's a true story too. Okay. So I couldn't get Arba.com. So what's more important, yes, you should have a name for your business. Yes, you could have a logo, but don't put effort into thinking that that's going to get you visibility. It's that people are going to relate to you. When I refer people, once I get to know you, David, once Dr. LL, I'm referring people by their name, not by their brand, by their business. And there's people out there, let me tell you this too. Marketing, then I'm going to get off my high horse and we're going to start doing referrals. I'm not referrals, introductions, that I could give some feedback on that. Lost my thought for a minute. That what I was saying, I forgot. Sometimes I get going, I forget what was I saying?
You were saying brand yourself in a way of passing your name to other
Yes.
people instead of focusing on branding on social media.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, and just to
Yeah.
give you an idea, I've been roofing for 4 years, so I've done everything you not everything as far as putting money into my brand, but I just wanted to ask, like, what was the best thing that you've seen as far as platforms?
Yeah, well, and also I remember my thought too about the branding. Yes, you should have a logo. Yes, you should have a business name, but that is only so that when you do get your leads, which is most important, then people know that, oh, this is David's site. This is David's, whichever. So you do want to make sure that you're putting your logo. So that's what you're going to build visibility of your brand, but don't think that just having a brand. And I remember the other thing I was going to say too. Marketing is the most predatory business. I'm in the most predatory business there is, because marketing, you learn how to you learn about emotional triggers, buying triggers. You learn all of this stuff to make that sale, right? Sales and marketing are so closely related. So the reason that people pay a lot of money for branding and getting their color scheme and blah blah blah, all this stuff, is because people make money. They make money from that. They make money telling you, subscribe to, not subscribe, pay for Facebook, pay for this, pay for that. I do not get paid by Alignable. Let me put this out there. I do not get paid, get no compensation from Alignable to tell you to get a paid membership with Alignable. I'm just telling you from my experience of what I've gotten from Alignable. So anybody SEO. Oh my God. SEO was the big one. Like I said earlier, you want to be at the top of the search engines? I'll get you at the top of the search engines. Pay me $500. Pay me this, pay me that. Marketing is very predatory. Watch out. Buyer beware. Because they know what you want. And they're going to tell you, I'm going to give you what you want for this price. Okay. Dr. LL, and then we're going to go into networking.
So, Arba, from what you said, makes sense. And everybody, if you don't know, you need to have one experience of Arba's training. She's very passionate and insightful. But David, I believe what Arba is saying, yes, branding is important, but probably the focus, and this is what I'm learning, just building those relationships. Even if you have one family that you help save, put a roof over their house, because roofing is not cheap, but it's needed. So if you save them where they see the value, then they're gonna share with their friends or family members who also may need it. So as far as building relationships and consistency,
Yes.
and as far as building relationships, but just find a social media where that works for you, that gets your name out. Because I'm learning, I'm on different social media platforms, but I'm starting to learn for my group of people I'm targeting, professional women. I'm starting to learn that maybe I need to focus more with LinkedIn versus all the other social media. And I've seen that.
Yeah.
So as far as just building those relationships, be consistent, show the value of your work, and other people, once they start seeing the value, it will come.
Yep. That's the truth there.